This is Tim Gway, and welcome to the Cassandra Project. With the doomsday clock now set to 90 seconds to midnight, we've never been closer to nuclear Armageddon. We need to act, and we need to act now. The Cassandra Project will help you act now by giving you actionable steps you can take to help avert nuclear war, as well as vital information to help you and your family survive an actual nuclear war. Now, for today's topic, we're going to look at a bit about the channel, including who I am and the topics I'm going to be covering. Now, the overall goal of the channel is to raise awareness of the increased risk of nuclear war and the need to revive the nuclear disarmament movement, as well as look at the effects of a nuclear war and, if it happens, how to survive it. As for me, I was born in 1955 and grew up with the ever-present threat of nuclear war with the duck and cover drills in school and regular air raid siren tests. Through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, my generation lived with that fear and protested against a bomb, sometimes getting over 10,000 people marching. These mass protests resulted in a series of nuclear arms control treaties such as SALT, INF, and START. With the fall of the Soviet Union, we thought we were home free from this threat and that we had this peace dividend. But alas, we weren't, for these treaties have been either allowed to expire or torn up by the US, with their stated reason being that Russia is cheating. New START, the final treaty, has been suspended by Russia due to NATO demands to be allowed to inspect Russian strategic facilities while denying the Russians the same privilege. Meanwhile, the Ukraine war and the escalating tensions over Taiwan, coupled with the breakdown of dialogue between NATO, Russia, and China, brings us ever closer to the brink. The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists has recognized this dire state of affairs and has moved the doomsday clock to 90 seconds to midnight, the closest it's ever been, even closer than it was during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Yet never have we as a society and as individuals been so indifferent to the threat of nuclear war, with the younger generation primarily focused on climate change and social justice issues. While these are important, nuclear war is by far the greatest existential threat to humanity and the wildlife we share our world with. There's a term for that, omnicide. That means the entire destruction of the human race, or at least a good chunk of it. The mainstream media is in many ways responsible for this indifference by minimizing both the risk and effects of nuclear war and creating a false sense of safety among the general population of the West. That the Russian nukes won't work, or it's no big deal, just stay inside until we tell you to come out, like the New York City nuclear disaster ad goes, and other things like that to make us feel that this is not an issue at all. However, it is. So now's the time to revive the nuclear disarmament movement, to educate everyone on the ever-increasing risk of nuclear war, its impact on humanity and the planet as a whole, and what we can do as individuals to arrest this, just like my generation did back in the days of the nuclear disarmament movement. This is why I've created this channel and why I welcome you to become involved in its mission. As for the topics we're going to look at, and that you can comment on, we will look at the political risks that we now have that could trigger a regional or global nuclear war. We will comment on current affairs and their impact on the risk of nuclear war. We'll look at the effects of a single nuclear weapon, as well as the short, medium, and long-term effects of a global nuclear war. Nuclear survival basics, covering both proactive and reactive steps. While it'll be an unmitigated disaster and kill a good chunk of the population, it can be survived, with a bit of luck and a bit of planning and foresight, as well as other related topics. Thank you. Please subscribe if you want actionable information on the risks and effects of nuclear war, nuclear disarmament, and nuclear survival. Please feel free to comment below. Those of you who want to materially support this channel, you can find me on Patreon, or on Locals, and the links are below. Stay tuned for my next video. Thank you, and bye for now.